Reddit. This place never really ceases to amaze me, but sometimes on those few rare occasions it does. Today we'll be taking a deep dive on the legal advice subreddit about a Redditor who posted about their violent stalker that will not leave them alone no matter what they do.
This is their story.
On February 27th, 2019, at 5:08 p.m., a Redditor of the name Please Help Us TA would make a post on the legal advice subreddit asking for help about a violent stalker that will not leave them alone. Their post is as follows. Stalker believes I belong to him and is threatening to kill my family. His arrest only made him more aggressive. Please help us. It's hard to make this coherent and safe for me, but I'll try my best. I am in desperate need of advice and guidance, so I really hope people can offer some insights. I have to be really careful not to tip this person off, so please just ask questions if I come across as too vague. This is the United States PNW. I am a stalking victim of a very mentally sick person. I met them 18 years ago in sort of a teaching situation and had minimal contact with them within the program. They were not sick at the time, just a regular student. I was close in age to the students, so I was very adamant about boundaries to maintain professionalism. Thus, I didn't hear from them for 13 years. Then 5 years ago, the student reached out, but in an alarming way. I tried to be polite, but they frightened me, so I asked them not to contact me again. I wasn't ever close to this student, so I didn't know why they were even reaching out. For 3 years, this person became increasingly aggressive, threatening, and stalkerish, declared me as his property, that he was going to rescue me, and that I had to return to him. If I didn't, he would kill me. I reported him, but the police were not very helpful with my reports. He couldn't find me in person, so he reached out over various electronic and phone methods, always finding different ways to contact me. I stopped using social media and I stopped going out as much, stopped answering my phone, and yet it kept escalating. Eventually, I had enough and petitioned my rights with the law. I had mountains of evidence to the point where multiple judges stated outright shock and alarm. He was arrested, charged, jailed for several months, and an official protective order was issued. He refused mental health evaluation and help. He was arrested a couple times again for minor violations of the order, but nothing serious enough for jail time. Well, he's been out for a couple of years, and over the past few months has begun obsessing over me again. While he isn't contacting me directly, he is posting about me over numerous social media and online platforms. My name, my picture, lots of defaming lies about our relationship. However, the most concerning thing is, his death threats have become much more pronounced, violent, and frequent. He stated that he is going to kill everyone around me, talks about killing my siblings, about killing my neighbors, how he's going to kill members of the church I used to attend, anyone who talks to me. He despises me and wants me to suffer and then return to him. Here's the rub. I've called various resources for advice on what to do, and to them, it's pretty cut and dry. His current behavior violates the protective order and he'll be arrested. But then what? So he is out again in a few months, even more angry at me and agitated? He 100% blames me for his original arrest/jailing. He sees no connection between his behavior and death threats and why he was jailed. He is very mentally sick, and he even testified that I bribed the judge and police and have them under my control. So if I have him charged for violating the order on me, I'm fairly confident he will try to kill me upon release, or my family. I have been considering approaching the situation on the side of the mass death threats and less with the focus on me. For one, he thinks I'm a part of a specific religion, so I'm worried he will try to harm its members. He was written that he will. From what I've seen on True Threat Legal Doctrine, his writings warrant that label. He is convinced my family is a part of this religion too, so he's described my family members from that point, and part of the reason for why they deserve to die. With those aspects, could this be sort of a case that the FBI could handle? Is there any way to approach this general threat to multiple people without making me the face of the case? I desperately wish to avoid returning to court, as I am certain that it would only reinforce this behavior, i.e. threaten to kill people get to see me. What can I do? How can I make this about his threats, and less about my protection order? Please help me, I am scared for myself and for my family. Redditors would begin to give their suggestions and advice as to how to deal with this situation. One piece of advice I really liked was from a Redditor named Jabroni Lawyer. Their comment is as follows. My best advice, be in regular contact with the police. If there is an officer at the department who is in charge of his file, get their card so you can call them directly. Report every breach, every threat. Don't let a single incident go unreported. Keep a careful journal of every event. Refuse all contact with him, block him on everything, and do not let him know your whereabouts. Never respond to him if he does contact you. Ask the police for all the help you can get to protect your safety. Each incident is an example of how that person should not be trusted to abide by conditions. The person seeking bail must justify why they should nonetheless be trusted. So the more reports there are, the more breaches there are, and the more serious the breaches are, the more skeptical a judge is of his case and more likely to err on the side of your safety. DAs may not blink at 1 or 2 breaches, but if there is a list as long as their arm, they will prepare very carefully. They do not want to let a guy out and have someone hurt because of it, and not reporting it is also reinforcing his behavior. If you cave to his threats, he then has leverage over you. I know court is daunting, stressful, and like having your emotions physically wrung out of you, but it may be your best option. The one thing I could tell you about this sort of person is that they are not reasoning properly. He will not accept responsibility. It is like negotiating with a hurricane. They are going to do what they are going to do almost regardless of what you say. If you cave, they make it violent. If you do not cave, they make it violent. At least with the latter, the police are around. Stay safe. This is excellent advice. OP should stay in regular contact with the police and write down everything in a report with everything that has happened to them. OP would reply to this comment stating, "Thank you so much for taking the time to reply, I genuinely appreciate it. I have kept meticulous records of his threats in post. I have about 20 instances of true threats, documented with the site posted, date, time, username, proof, etc. Going through the process of reporting him and testifying against him the first time definitely taught me how to assert for myself, how to prove his violation of my rights, and how to stick to my guns. My concern this time is it's not just me. He is making repeated, specific death threats against people because of their connection to me. He believes the religion I mentioned is holding me against my will, forcing me to hide my true feelings for him. For what it's worth, I am not religious, so not sure where this obsession comes from. He declared the religious leader his enemy and believes some of my siblings are church members posing as my family, acting on its behalf, so he specifically lists these family members as people he will kill. I am not scared of appearing before him in court, but I am afraid of reinforcing his desire to see me." Another Redditor would also give some great advice with them stating, "Hey, I just want to check if you are referring to personal records or if you are notifying the police every time. You need to do that. You should file every threat he makes about you and your family, church, religion. You should probably recruit some people from your church to monitor him as well and report. He is a danger to others and has intent and means he can be involuntarily committed for mental illness if it gets to that point. So I don't understand why he can't be arrested for threats and then brought to the hospital. Overall, I think you gotta report his threats. That's not a joke. Most important thing is reporting everything. Good luck." I also agree with this. OP needs to make sure that they file a report on anyone else their stalker is threatening. OP would also reply to this comment with them stating, "Yes, a combination of both. But when I made my last report, that triggered an arrest without my go-ahead and he was released again and more angry. So I've been hesitating to submit since then. However, taking some of the advice I've gotten here, combined with the feedback from victims' assistants, I submitted more evidence with a statement that I do not want any action without direct consultation with me. Not that I can stop them, but I want to know that I'm not signing my own death warrant by giving them evidence. I'm compiling a subfolder of his specific threats against the religion and submitting it to the local FBI field office. I just want to proceed with caution on that so that I'm not made the face for that investigation, especially as I am not a member of the religion even, just concerned for their safety. I definitely do not want innocent people harmed for their faith. I might not agree with the religion, but all the people I know from it are good, earnest people, and it makes me sick that he honestly believes that they are keeping me captive. Well, this is good that OP is compiling a list of threats and submitting them to their local FBI field office to report it. Another Redditor would bring up a good point with them stating, "I know you think it's going to reinforce his behavior, but the truth is his behavior is self-reinforcing. Every minute you delay bringing this back to the authorities is another minute you've allowed the situation to continue. My advice is to go to the police now and seek the maximum punishment available from the courts. Every time there's the slightest violation, go back again. Eventually the courts will realize that he either needs mandatory mental treatment or that he needs to be locked up, but the only way that happens is if you notify them. The longer you wait, the longer it goes on and the more danger you're in." This is a good point. If OP continuously reports the stalker's behavior to the authorities, it can let the authorities know that the situation is serious enough and needs to be dealt with. OP would eventually give a small update with them stating, "I've been referred to a lawyer in my area that we're meeting with next week, so I am hopeful he could help identify some specific laws my stalker is breaking to hopefully press charges for. A big issue is apparently my state is super behind in laws regarding online death threats. So while he is specifically naming and tagging me, it's hard to know what will stick. I did call the police again, so we'll see. I think this is good that OP is getting a lawyer to help him legally with this situation. Another Redditor would also state that OP should invest in home security and self-defense courses, which OP would reply with, "Yeah, I am checking in with the VA resources on potential local classes. I always keep mace on me, but I may keep bear spray in my car as well. We have a home security system but no cameras, so I'm going to see if we can find an affordable set to add. We have 2 big dogs and one of them is very protective of me." Well, I think this is also good that OP is looking into self-defense tactics just in case the need arises. However, unfortunately, there hasn't been an update since regarding the Stalker situation with OP. Hopefully the situation resolved and the Stalker went away or was imprisoned. But alright, that's it. I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below, but as always,
Have a nice day.